This podcast is not for the overly sensitive, the terminally optimistic, or anyone who thinks dating in your 50s is a whimsical romantic comedy. Listener discretion is advised.
You're listening to Girls Can Tell. It's not me, it's you, where dating over 50 gets a well-deserved roast. Here's your host, Trent Erickson. Tall, opinionated, slightly over it.
I had a thought the other day that curiosity died around 2014. You'd think having the answer to every question in the known universe literally in your pocket would make people smarter and more informed. It turns out it made them lazier and almost less curious. You can look up how to fix your own sink, how to cut your own hair, change your oil, iron a shirt, fold a fitted sheet, even properly pronounce euro. Instead, we live in a world full of adults who don't know how to do any of those things, and walking around ordering gyros. And worse yet, they aren't even curious enough to find out. This is Girls Can Tell. I'm Trent, and today we're looking at the death of curiosity and common sense and the people out there among us who somehow still fall for email scams in 2025. There's literally no excuse anymore for not finding answers. You can get a PhD-level education in just about anything for free. Want to install a bidet? There's 2,411 videos showing you exactly how to do that. Learn how to sew a button, rewire a lamp, break into your own house when you've locked yourself out. All completely covered, free of charge. And we're not talking obscure, grainy videos filmed in someone's dingy basement either. These are full-blown tutorials with lighting, chapters, voiceovers, and on-screen diagrams with high production value. Some of these YouTubers are better instructors than the ones in college classrooms. The other day I looked up how bubbles work. Why? Because I wanted to know. It took me 90 seconds. Now I know the physics of bubbles. Now, I might never need that information at all, but it's there, locked in, because you never know when it might come in handy. I also once looked up how to get a bat out of my house. Like a real bat. I mean actual wings flapping, vampire-ass bat flying around my ceiling at 2 a.m. And guess what? YouTube had about 130 options, complete with diagrams, demonstrations, and one guy who made it look like he was way too into it. 10 minutes later, I had a broom, a towel, a bucket, and a bat safely released into the night sky and busy off doing bat things. Turning to YouTube saved the night, and it was a lot more effective than had I shrugged my shoulders and gone back to bed, hoping I wouldn't find a middle-aged man wearing a cape counting things in my living room when I woke up the next morning. And that's how it should be. You hear something, you wonder how it works, you look it up, and you learn it. That used to be called being alive. Now it's considered annoying or trying too hard. Since when did effort become embarrassing? But when I ask someone a simple question like, how long do squirrels live? And they just go, I don't know, and then stand there doing nothing, that makes me think there's something wrong with them. Their lack of curiosity is more offensive than their lack of knowledge. I mean, at least pretend to want to know, instead of showing no sense of wonder with a blank-eyed acceptance of their own ignorance like it's cute. I just don't understand that mindset. Here's a weird question I've been asked more than once. Do you like music? Not, do you like country music? Just simply, do you like music? It's like asking if I like breathing. It's not a real question. It's a placeholder because they don't know how to talk to another human or some sort of distraction until they can think of something better. P.S. They can't. And it's usually followed by dead air and a smile. Like the question alone was supposed to be enough to carry the conversation, leaving you to do all the heavy lifting. It's basically a verbal shoulder shrug. Like, what did you want me to say? No, I don't like organized sounds. I prefer the dull roar of HVAC units and people chewing next to me. Ask me if I like Bulgarian jazz or death metal ballads. I mean, that's at least specific. But don't just lob up the laziest conversation starter ever and then expect me to carry it in myself from there. It's like, have you ever been answering a question and halfway through it, in your head, you know the person clearly doesn't really care about your answer, so you wrap it up early because you can't wait to hear what the next excuse for a question is going to be? We've all had that moment where you're halfway into the answer and you realize the person isn't even listening. They're just waiting for their turn to say something. And usually, that thing requires another equally labor-intensive answer from you that they're just as uninterested in hearing. I got a text last week saying my package from USPS couldn't be delivered until I paid $1.72 in postage. All I had to do was click the link and pay it. And somewhere out there, someone did. Because apparently, we still haven't learned that nothing good comes from a random link in a text message from someone you don't know. And it's never just click here, it's click here and log into this completely fake portal we made in MS Paint while your browser is having a stroke from the malware it's trying to load. But people still do it, and they'll do it again tomorrow. Here's a tip I shouldn't need to give anyone, But if you're on Michigan Avenue and someone you don't know walks up holding a clipboard, asks you to donate a few dollars to some charity, then tells you to sign into your Cash app, and then asks you to hand them your phone so they can put in your banking info, assuring you they will transfer only the agreed upon funds, you really deserve it at that point. But it happens all the time. How is this still working? How are there people in 2025 getting scammed by the IRS from a Gmail account with 17 numbers on it? Or believing a Nigerian prince is in a tight spot and the first thought they had was to email you for help wiring them money? Or giving their bank info to a 56-year-old man's voice on the phone saying, "Hi, Grandma, it's me, Heather." And the worst part? The people doing the scamming are working. Like, it takes effort to come up with an idea, build a fake website, get a burner number, write scripts, practice, maybe recruit others to help execute it. They could take that same time and energy and just, get a job. Like a regular one where you don't ruin someone's retirement or steal from someone who needs it to eat. Imagine waking up every morning, making coffee, and thinking, well, I'd better get moving. I got a full day of ruining people's lives for $44 today. There are people out there who've built full scam empires from the ground up. They have management structure, call setters, fake names and phone trees, burner emails, contingency plans, the works. And I'm just sitting here thinking, that's work, right? So it can't be that they're lazy, they're actually just evil. I absolutely can't, for the life of me, understand people who simply aren't curious about things. It's beyond my comprehension how you wouldn't want to know who the guy was who looked into the sand one day and thought, I think I'm going to heat this stuff up and see if it turns into glass. Or what the going rate was for a room at H.H. Holmes' place during the World's Fair, or when we decided toothpicks were a good idea, especially since there's no excuse not to know. We all carry the Library of Alexandria in our pockets, and most of us use it to watch videos of people playing guitar with their feet. If you don't know how to do something, find out. If you're confused by something, well, look it up. Want to know how knee surgery's done? Go find out and start a side hustle out of your garage, or just have that information in your head should it ever come up in conversation. It's not even about being useful anymore. It's about being awake and aware and asking questions, having that moment where something doesn't sit right and instead of scrolling past it, you go, wait, what was that? Why is that like that? There's this collective apathy now where people act like not knowing things makes them relatable. Like, I don't read the news is code for I'm too lazy to find things out. I'm not saying everybody needs to be a genius. I'm saying the bar is low enough, so step over it. Curiosity should be second nature. So the next time someone shrugs and says, I don't know, I want you to ask them something, if they want to know. And if they aren't already reaching for their phone, or if their response is anything short of an enthusiastic, of course I do, then maybe their time would be better spent alone staring at a wall than conversing or wasting any more of your time. It's about being alive and being human, engaging with the world like it's something worth figuring out. Because it is. Don't be the person who doesn't care about knowing things. Be the person who randomly knows how bubbles work. Be the person who knows why the sky is blue, even if you kind of already sort of know. Be the person who leans in when something weird happens instead of shrugging it off like a dope. And for the record, squirrels live an average of 6 years in the wild, 10 years in captivity, just in case anyone was still wondering. And if right now you're not thinking, how many squirrels are in captivity? Who's keeping them? And why would somebody do that? Please don't talk to me at parties.